Hi, I'm Adrian Richardson, and I'm going to teach you how to make my sticky, smoky pork ribs on the Ziggy. And it's really easy to do. The first thing you need to do is get the smoky flavour, and I'm going to use my smoker box here. It's just as simple as putting a few wood chips in the top here. Now you can get any flavour wood chips you want from Barbecues Galore. You put a couple of handfuls in the top here and then close the lid. Now I've got my Ziggy on a high heat and I just pop the smoker box on top there. Now once I start to get a bit of smoke, which will take a few minutes, I turn it down to nice and low. Then all I need to do is get my pork ribs marinating. Now I've got my bowl here and I'll make the marinade. I've got about a tablespoon of ground ginger. You can use dry ginger if you want, but I love fresh ginger, really finely ground. Garlic is also a great ingredient, about a tablespoon of that, or 2 to 3 cloves. Now paprika, I'm using smoked paprika, but feel free to use hot paprika or sweet paprika, whatever you like. Now we love chili, so I've got a good sprinkle of dried chili. I'll also put in some fresh chili, but dried chili gives it a great flavor as well. Some fresh onion. I use red onion and I've diced this red onion really fine. I love the flavor it adds to the pork. Now we need some soy sauce, which also has some salt in it, so it'll help to season it really well and give it a great color. About half a cup of that goes in there. Now to sweeten up the pork ribs, I've got some brown sugar. And I love using brown sugar. It's got such caramelly flavor and makes the pork even more delicious. Now we need to season it all up, so I'm using some salt. Plenty of salt in there, about a tablespoon. Some extra virgin olive oil, about a tablespoon, and that'll help to lubricate the pork and make the marinade stick to everything. And of course, some pepper, black pepper. And you can twist as much pepper as you want on here. I love fresh cracked pepper, so there can never ever be enough for me. A good twist of that. Now I've got some fresh herbs here, some coriander and some spring onions, and I'll just take the tops off there. I like to cut the coriander and the spring onion nice and fine so it goes all the way through the marinade and gives it a great flavor. If you haven't got fresh herbs, that's okay. You can use dried ones, but if you can, fresh is always best. So once you've chopped them up, throw them into the marinade like that. Now, as I said before, I like a lot of spice with my pork, so I've got 3 red hot chilies here. These are Scuds, Thai chilies, and they will burn. So if you've got kids around, keep these chilies out of it. So I'll throw these straight into the marinade. You want to make sure that the marinade is really well mixed together, so when you spread it onto the pork, it coats it really evenly. Now that's looking fantastic. All I need to do is pop it onto my pork ribs. Now these are Australian pork ribs, and you can tell that because they've got the bone in it. It's really important to buy Aussie pork ribs so we know we're looking after our farmers. And you just pour the marinade over the pork ribs. Now I want to mix it in really evenly, so I'll just grab my tongs and turn them around. You can see the marinade needs to be spread all over that pork, so I'll grab the last little bit and spoon it on. And just grab it from the sides here and rub it all over that pork. And normally I would tell you to marinate it at least overnight or for 48 hours, and that will allow all the flavors to penetrate. But you know I'm hungry, I want to get it onto my barbecue and I want to get it smoking as quick as I can. Okay, we're ready to pop my ribs on the barbecue, and have a look at this. We've got some smoke as well. Now grab your tongs and just carefully pick up your ribs and pop them on the grill here. Now these pork ribs will take about 2 to 3 hours until they're nicely cooked and tender, and they've got a great smoke on the outside, and the marinade will make them so sticky. You just close the lid, turn it on low, and wait a couple of hours. Now this barbecue is fantastic. It's so big, I reckon I could put a couple of turkeys in here, and I could even glaze a ham. Have a look at that. They look fantastic. Look at that glaze. And here's another tip. The leftover marinade you can brush on while it's cooking, and it'll make it even stickier and shinier and have a great flavor. Now I'll take this baby off here. Now, these pork ribs have cooked for about 2.5 hours and they'll be nice and tender. A little tip is if you run out of smoke, you can always open it up, pop a few chips on top of it and keep that smoke going so we've got plenty of flavor. And flavor is what it's all about. Now, with a good sharp knife, you just cut between the bones like this easy to do. Another tip is you could turn it over and cut through the bones this way, so you get nice and easy pork ribs. Stack them up on a little plate here, and I guarantee you people will come far and wide for your sweet, sticky pork ribs with plenty of smoke. Now, if you're worried about your barbecue being dirty, you don't have to worry with your Ziggy, because all the grill and hot plates are dishwasher safe, so you can just worry about eating your pork. That is so good.